What's up, guys? Harris here. I wanted to talk to you about something really important and really kind of hard to talk about today, and that's sponsorships. And not just the standard sponsorship videos that you see a lot of, like, oh, get your elevator pitch ready, network as much as you can, blah, 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 which are usually good, but they're very surface level. And I would just like to get into more of the nitty-gritty of sponsorships and actually talk about how they work and things you need to look out for when you should start looking for sponsorships. The stuff that really you can only give advice on if you're very experienced in the area. And unfortunately on Twitch, there's not a lot of people who have extensive experience with working with brands or sponsors. And really the only streamers on like Twitch or Mixer who are doing these large sponsorships or brand deals are either the top 20 to 30 streamers who then of course aren't making videos about them afterwards. Two, people who are signed to organizations like pro players who then of course aren't actually making a single dollar off of them anyway. And then people like me who are have an extensive history of social media and came from other platforms like YouTube or Instagram, where brand deals are much more prevalent and have a lot more history, and then moved over to Twitch. So fortunately, that's the kind of experience that I can share. I've worked with well, I'll just put logos on the screen. This is every company I can think of that I've worked with over the past 5 years. And there are just a lot of things that you should know before heavily pursuing sponsorships or brand deals. And so I view this video as super important, because this isn't a video about setting up your OBS, getting rid of some dropped frames, or setting up your light just right. This is about turning your stream into a business. This is about turning this into a career and actually making money, and some of the mistakes that a lot of streamers make that end up sometimes being career breaking. It's important that you have an understanding of how much a streamer is making for having a tiny little logo underneath his camera during his stream. And by the way, spoiler, more times than not, it's absolutely nothing. By the way, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday evening on Twitch. Link to that down in the description below. Also, if you find this helpful, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. I've had the incredible experience over the past 5 years of being a full-time content creator, of working with some of the top name brands. And some of these experiences were absolutely incredible, and some of them were nightmares, and I will never want to work with those brands again. Some of these were simple one-off brand deals. Some of them were longer-term sponsorships. These deals were the lifeblood of our careers because we were running a music channel and we weren't able to monetize anything. Nope. 22 million views, and Warner Brothers took every single penny. And called and threatened legal action, by the way. They made Kenzie cry. Not a fan. But these brand deals made up almost 100% of our income. So I would like to share with you guys a little bit more about how these work, some do's and don'ts of sponsorships, and of course, how you should treat your channel to best prep yourself for turning it into a career in the future. First off, you guys came into the video because the word sponsorship was in the title, and now I'm talking about brand deals. Let's talk about the two words and what they mean. They are technically pretty interchangeable, but generally in the industry, when someone says brand deal, they're talking about a one-time exchange deal. The brand gives you money and or a product. You, in return, advertise said product on your channel, and yeah, you're pretty much done. You've seen a handful of these on this channel, and even a couple of videos throughout the rest of this month are going to have these kind of brand deals on them. The word sponsorship, however, is often used when you're talking about a long-term contract. You rep the brand for a number of months or years, whether it's putting their logo on your stream or like them using your likeness on their website. You basically become integrated with the brand. These aren't as cut and dry as the others, and even though they're longer, they often pay less, and because the deliverables aren't as clear, they can often get a little sketchy. It's often just a way for a company to brand your channel, much like the way a rancher brands his cattle. But for some reason, there's kind of this weird perspective among small streamers, and sometimes larger streamers too, that if you have sponsors, you're legit. This mindset can actually be a huge hindrance to streamers, and let me explain why. And I'm not just talking about one of those like, oh, your mindset is in the wrong place kind of hindrances. This causes streamers to make poor decisions with their brand. This makes poor decisions with their money. This causes them to make poor decisions with their time. You guys know, if you've been following the channel for a while, I did a video a while back on how to approach brands and kind of what sponsors want to hear from you when you approach them. I did a second video then on analyzing some big gaming brands' affiliate programs and how to spot predatory ones. Consider this video like the third installment of the sponsorship series, and one, unfortunately, that a lot of you guys are going to click away from because I am going to be saying some things that you don't want to hear. But it's about why you should stop trying to get sponsors. For now. while you're at home. There's a time and a place for everything, and when you're at gaming events, you should approach every sponsor possible, even the ones you don't want to work with. But for now, stop. And just to put some validation behind that so you know I'm not just lying to you so I get to keep all the sponsors for myself, in the past 5 years of doing what I do, I have reached out to fewer than 5 sponsors. I just don't do it. There's no reason to do it. Let's talk about how they work. Before a sponsorship contract is written up, an evaluation of your brand value is done. The brand will look at the reach you have on your channel and on your socials, and not just the number of followers. In fact, that's probably one of the least important ones on there. They will look at the engagement and the influence that you have with your audience. So for example, the amount of likes and follows that you get on your tweets, or how fast you are growing, or what is the reason that people follow you? Do they just think you're entertaining, or do they actually respect your opinion on a topic? If you'll let me be completely transparent with my business here, one of the big things that I share with brands is my Amazon associate numbers. How much actual merchandise I sell via the links in the description of the videos, because that gives the brand a very real number of how my videos translate into sales. So by the way, everybody who's purchased anything from a link, thank you. And by the way, I do plan on being incredibly transparent in this video if you're okay with that. Not just giving you theoretical answers of how this works, but actually giving you real numbers of what I work with. I feel like that would actually help you understand what you should look for and what you should expect. So the brand will come to you with an offer. If you put an ad in your video for our product, we will pay you this amount. That number will always be less than what you're worth. Every time. It's not anything personal. It's just the way business works. Now, if you have great representation, like an agent, the brand will come to you and say, hey, we want to pay you $2,000 for this brand integration. The agent will come back and say, no. Harris knows what he's worth, and his video is worth $4,000. And they'll go back and forth until they finally settle on $3,000, which is probably the most accurate representation of what it's worth. And by the way, just to kind of pull the curtain off of this for a little bit, I probably started doing brand deals on this channel at about 50,000 subscribers. And to do a, let's say, 1 minute integration to the beginning of a video, I would probably get paid anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000. Now that the channel is above 100,000 subscribers, a more realistic number of what we generally negotiate is probably between $3,000 and $6,000. Now keep in mind that this channel has an incredibly high engagement rate. We get a lot of views and likes and comments compared to our number of subscribers. Not to mention the content on this channel is super brandable. So compare that to someone who's maybe doing gaming videos on their YouTube channel and has 100,000 subscribers, they're probably doing brand deals for anywhere from $500 to $1,500. But this also allows me to be incredibly picky with sponsors on my channel, and I can say no to any kind of sponsors that would either hurt the channel or would hurt you. Now, I've shared a lot of information similar to this in videos before, and since then I've gotten numerous questions about how do I get sponsors? How do I get an agent? The point of me resharing this information with actual numbers is to drive a point. Until your channel has actual value in the market, you will not make any money off of these. The mistake streamers make is they think that having sponsors legitimizes your channel, but all that's doing is you're putting the cart before the horse. The only way you're gonna get any kind of return from any of these sponsors is if you've already put in the work, you've created the content, and you've built an audience before you try to get the sponsors. I can promise you that having a G Fuel logo on your stream will, 1, not get you any more viewers, and 2, all you're gonna get is a tiny percentage off of G Fuel, which then you're going to use to buy more G Fuel than you would have bought otherwise, costing you more money. Do you see the marketing scheme here? It can actually get worse too. Let's say you do sign one of these contracts and then you actually do blow up and you have value in the market. Oftentimes you're signed to a long-term commitment and you're restricted from working with any of those companies' competitors. So when Razer Respawn reaches out to you, you have to say, nope, sorry, I'm signed with G Fuel, not making any money. By the way, this isn't like an anti-G Fuel thing. I'm just using them as an example because everybody puts G Fuel on their stream, and I can guarantee you 99.9% of these streamers are not getting paid a dime. The only time you'll actually get something out of a brand sponsorship that you sign early on like this is if it's 1, a brand that you really love and you want to be committed to, and 2, it's one of those affiliate type programs that as you grow, the rewards grow as well and you grow with them. And there are some companies that do some really cool let's grow together kind of programs. But there is actually one more really large detriment that comes with reaching out to sponsors early. There is a real issue here, and I want you to seriously think and consider this. Sponsorships are distracting. They are a distraction from the real focus that you need to have. Right now, unless you're like a top tier player in a game or a pro, the only real way to grow on live streaming platforms is to create content outside the platform on more discoverable platforms and then bring that audience in. And for new streamers, that's an incredibly overwhelming thought, especially if you don't know how to edit content and you don't want to learn. And the idea that if you just got a sponsor, it would legitimize you and it would help you grow, like some affiliate programs would have you believe, is a massive distraction and an excuse not to do the important things that you need to be doing. Real talk, guys, you only have a certain amount of hours in the day, and you only have a certain amount of bandwidth that your brain can focus on in any of those given hours. If you're spending all of your time grinding Twitch or Mixer, hoping to get that sponsorship that will one day make you big, you're gonna spend years grinding to eventually turn around and realize you wasted a lot of time. Focus on the content. Focus on learning how to create content, and then focus on learning how to improve that content. Create things that build your value in the market rather than spending your time trying to strike deals before you have any value to offer them in return. All right, let's end this video with some do's and don'ts. Do approach every brand when you go to an event. Ask for their social media manager. Nail down your pitch. Figure out how to best sell yourself. It's a great practice opportunity to learn to be more professional in the industry. Don't spend any of your time at home trying to email and get sponsors. Instead, do spend your time learning to create good content and consume content, by the way. You wouldn't believe how many hours a day I watch YouTube and Twitch analyzing these streamers and content creators, figuring out what makes a content creator good, what I can emulate and apply to my own content. If you want to be in the industry, you have to learn the industry. Don't try to go out and get an agent until you are large enough to actually make good deals. Agents don't magically make great sponsorships appear out of midair, and good agents only make money if you make money. Chances are if someone's willing to represent you before you offer a lot of value to the market, they're probably trying to rip you off. They're probably gonna ask for a fee up front and a monthly fee. They're just taking your money. Look, here's my general rule of thumb. You'll know when you're ready to start working with sponsors when sponsors start reaching out to you. You'll know when you're ready to get an agent when agents start reaching out to you. I've worked with 3 major agencies in my time as a full-time content creator, and I didn't reach out to any of them. I focused on the content and they came to me. And I hope you found this helpful. If you do have any further questions on this, again, you can jump into my stream. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I do a lot of just chatting, answering a lot of these kinds of questions. Link again down in the description below. Also, we do have a massive community on Discord. Link to that down in the description below. It is full of streamers trying to turn this into a career. Find some people you can talk to. And as always, happy streaming.
What were they fighting again? What the hell? Oh, Harris, you're crazy.
Nice work.